This presentation has been produced using weapons and memorabilia from the Guns of Famous Shooters collection of Colonel Rex Applegate. There was a period in our history before the advent of freeways, excessive urbanization, multiple sporting events, TV, and video, when live performances such as Wild West shows, vaudeville, minstrel shows, and baseball entertained the public. This was also the era of the professional exhibition shooter. By means of this early film footage, you'll once again be able to enjoy what once was a great spectator shooting sport. This is fast and fancy shooting at its very best. Ever since men have aimed projectiles at targets, people have appreciated and have been entertained by shooting skills. After all, the biblical David, Robin Hood, and William Tell were extraordinary marksmen. We Americans have our own folk hero sharpshooters, such as Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, and Kit Carson. The times of the great exhibition shooters are past. These spectacular demonstrations of fast and fancy shooting, duplicating under controlled conditions the feats of real and imaginary lawmen, hunters, and frontier gunmen, have now almost entirely disappeared. Exhibition shooting is distinctly American in origin and began with the early Wild West shows. This type of shooting entertainment utilized a variety of guns, ammunition, and targets to captivate the audience. The first nationally and internationally famous exhibition shooters were employed by William F. Cody, who is better known as Buffalo Bill. The legendary Annie Oakley was a longtime star of his traveling Wild West show. About 1900, the major arms and ammunition companies began to employ professional exhibition shooters to promote the sale of guns, ammunition, traps, targets, and other related merchandise. By means of great showmanship and shooting skills, these individuals not only entertained, but built up a great deal of goodwill for the shooting sports, while at the same time promoting their sponsors' products. Unfortunately, since World War II, the professional exhibition shooter has been replaced by more modern and sophisticated sales and merchandising techniques. During the period of the professional exhibition shooters, who mostly used rifles and shotguns, several legendary handgun shooters also appeared on the scene. These men, using the revolver, gave shooting performances and performed feats that will probably remain unduplicated in future generations. We'll look at the talents left behind by Ad Topperwine, Gus Parrott, Bill Jordan, Ed McGivern, Herb Parsons, and others. Unfortunately, motion picture footage of Topperwine and Parrott could not be located. However, they were two of the most talented and famous of the early professional exhibition shooters. Let's look at Topperwine first. Adolph Topperwine and his wife were the key transitional professional exhibition shooters between the Buffalo Bill era and the period when most exhibition shooters were active, which lasted until about 1950. Ad Topperwine was born in San Antonio in 1869. As a young man, he traveled with a circus and vaudeville, doing trick shooting. In 1903, Winchester employed him as a professional exhibition shooter, and his wife, better known as Plinky, joined him in 1904. The couple performed all over the States, in Canada, and in Mexico until their retirement in 1940. They set the standard for all exhibition shooters to follow who duplicated and improved upon their original shooting acts. Topperwine, for instance, topped the field with an incredible stunt in 1907. For 8 hours a day, 10 days in a row, Ad Topperwine shot at 50,000 2.5-inch square wooden blocks tossed into the air in front of him. Of the 50,000 blocks he shot at, he missed only 4. In 1916, his wife Plinky set a world trap shooting record. Over a 5-hour period, she hit 1,952 clay targets out of 2,000. This was a world's record for the time, man or woman. Both of the Topperwines were versatile shooters with rifle, shotgun, and revolvers. Plinky Topperwine passed away in 1945. Ad Topperwine died in 1962 at the age of 92, a legendary shooter who entertained tens of thousands of spectators and who was considered by his peers the greatest of them all. Gus Parrott was born in Lafayette, Indiana in 1886. He moved to Yoncalla, Oregon in 1890, where he spent his boyhood and lived until his death in 1963. He was an early contemporary and friend of Ad Topperwine, who inspired him to be an exhibition shooter. He was first employed by the Peters Cartridge Company. When this company was taken over by Remington, he continued as a shooter and later as a sales executive until his retirement in 1950. Parrott was best known as an exhibition shooter in the Pacific Northwest and Alaska, but also became internationally known as a big game hunter and world-class photographer. He wrote many articles for early sporting magazines covering his hunting expeditions, took thousands of photographs, and made motion pictures that were featured nationally. In exhibition shooting, he was unique because he shot the revolver, the rifle, and the shotgun equally well. Another famous exhibition shooter, Bill Jordan, an honest-to-God living legend, is still active as a big game hunter, gun writer, firearms authority, and author. He's been a major figure in American law enforcement and on the sport shooting scene for over half a century. During a 30-year stint in the U.S. Border Patrol, he took time out during World War II and the Korean War for combat duty as a Marine officer. It can positively be said that Bill has smelled a lot of gun smoke, heard a lot of shots fired in anger, and been successful on many occasions when the targets were shooting back. Bill's book, No Second Place Winner, is the classic text on gunfighting. Jordan holsters and revolver grips are known to handgunners everywhere. In 1965, after retirement from the Border Patrol, Bill became a field representative at large for the National Rifle Association. He is a master in pistol, small bore, and high-power rifle competition and holder of the NRA Distinguished Marksman Badge. In 1976, Bill was the winner of the Outstanding American Handgunner Award. The instructive exhibition you're about to see was performed when he was an NRA representative when he was 64 years old. This performance was advertised as the fast man